All right.
Barry, we mentioned that Journey two-night stand, and you mentioned Ed Harvey earlier. Should I tell that story?
Yeah, tell him, sure.
We were talking about the impromptu in-store appearances, and the drummer for Journey was a guy, I think, named Steve Jones.
I actually don't know, because I was never a Journey fan.
Yeah, me neither. But
Corky, do you know? Not that you were a Journey fan, but you might know.
It sounds right.
It's about right. It was some just extraordinarily common name. And it turned out he could not have possibly been a nicer guy.
Yeah.
And the evidence of that is in the end of the story, because he came in and he was just completely inconspicuous in terms of his behavior, and big jazz fan. And, of course, as Corky mentioned earlier, Ed Harvey was our jazz expert, and just a tremendous character. And he and Steve were back in the jazz section for hours. I mean, it seemed like they must have laid a hand on every record in that section. And at the end of a couple hours, suddenly, Steve, the drummer for Journey, realized he had somewhere to be, and he's like, I think I got to go to sound check or something like that. And well, Ed, said, I didn't even realize you were a musician, And the guy says, oh yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm the drummer for Journey, and if you'd be interested, I'd love to continue visiting with you. I could leave you a couple of tickets at the will call window, and you come down and see the show tonight, and you can come back and we'll hang out after the show. And Ed said, oh my God, Journey, I mean, God, they're horrible. I mean, that singer of yours, he sings worse than Neil Young. And that was Ed's biggest put down, was anybody got compared to Neil Young, because he couldn't stand the way Neil Young sang. And fortunately, the guy, was as nice as I said. And he did mention, he said, well, we sell a lot of records. And Ed said, well, not on my account. And so, he hugged Ed, and he went and bought his records and came back and hugged him again, just to make sure everybody knew they were square with one another. And he laughed all the way out of there. But that was Ed Harvey. I mean, God love him. He was a wonderful guy. He'd been my next-door neighbor when I was a little boy, from preschool, from 58th and Brookside. And just a great old record man. He was involved in, Corky can give you a little more background in terms of what he'd done before Capers, because
was he a radio? Was he a radio guy?
Oh no, he was always in record store sales. He was from Tulsa, and he had come up here and then worked or ran Mr. Z's downtown, which was before my time. But there was a wholesale distributor on Southwest Boulevard called. Now I'm drawing a blank. I can tell you the address: 321 Southwest Boulevard. Davidson's One Stop. That's what it was. And they would sell. They would sell to anybody that came in, but they were mainly for jukebox operators and other retail stores. So he had always been in either the retail, the wholesale, and then after he retired, he worked part-time for us, and then eventually ended up over at the Music Exchange.
Yeah, which is where actually I encountered him more often.
Yeah.